Welcome back to Off the Bench with Razi Sports, where we talk about more than just a game. I hear your host, RE3, with Coach Ron, Coach T, and also
Yes, sir.
Akeem. Today, we're honored to sit down with Brooklyn legend and man whose story embodies perseverance, discipline, and the power of youth sports. He's a Brownsville native, played travel basketball most of his life, went to play for LIU, and was drafted by the Atlanta Hawks in 1984. Please welcome Robert Brown.
All
How
right,
you
welcome,
doing?
welcome.
Welcome,
Welcome.
welcome.
How you doing,
Pretty
guys? Can you
good.
see me? Cause like half of my head is cut off a little bit.
Oh no,
You
we see you clear. Oh,
can
we
see you.
see you clear,
Okay,
Mr. Brown.
okay. All right. Well, I ain't worrying about me. As long as y'all can see me.
All right.
Yes,
How you
sir.
doing?
Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing? Doing all right?
All right.
Yes,
Everybody.
sir. Good to have you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm honored. I'm definitely honored.
Happy to hear that. All right, so I'm just
Yeah.
gonna start off with the first question. Let's start right at home, man. Paint the picture for us. What was Brownsville like growing up in the 70s and 80s?
Oh man, the '70s and '80s. Whew, rough. Gangs, drugs, more gangs, more drugs.
Hmm.
That's one side. But on the other side, the basketball level,
Mm,
awesome, awesome. I mean, there was some great basketball coming out of Brownsville back then. I mean,
mm,
everybody was playing. You know what I mean? We had all Brownsville legends. It was crazy. You know, we had uh we had World Be Free. We had Greg Jocko Jackson, Phil Sellers. Rest in peace to them too. Fly Williams.
mm,
Uh, in the '80s, growing up in the '80s, it was myself, guys like Jeff Thomas, um, Pearl Washington, Larry Washington, Jerry Ice Reynolds. These is all Brownsville guys,
Hmm.
mm,
and we balled out. We balled out, and me and Pearl Washington, we was from the same projects. He lived in the same building, well, next building from me. But me and him, we played a lot together, one on one. He was awesome. He was awesome. He was a great kid. I knew he was gonna be something special. You know what I mean? Me and him had some battles. I was a couple of years older than him,
Hmm.
but I knew he was gonna be good, you know what I mean? Because he was man, he had got so big,
mm.
and we would just keep playing and playing and oh my God. He was like when he got so big, he just started backing me in, and I couldn't do nothing with him. So I said, okay, I'm gonna have to switch this up a little bit. So I started running outside to the key area
Mm.
and start shooting them jump shots on him, and make him chase me, But I was Steph Curry before Steph Curry, you know.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
anybody anybody that knew me, they knew, the word was out like get him soon as he crossed that half court,
Okay.
because he gonna pull it, he gonna pull up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the good thing about it, I was making them, you
There you
know.
go.
But
That's
Lights
how
out
but
I
street.
knew.
yeah, with Pearl Washington, he was a great kid, and before he passed away, he called me and he
Mm,
said, Rob, I just wanted to tell you that you didn't get the recognition, that you deserved and everything, And
mm,
he said, but I knew, what type of player you were, you know what I mean? And that stuck with me, you know what I mean? Because he used to come and watch me play, He used to ride with my mother and father, come see me play in some tournaments and everything. And it was good. The '80s was tough. It was
mm,
tough, but we had tournaments all over Brownsville. We had, the guys like that I mentioned earlier, World Be Free, Fly Williams, Jocko Jackson, and Phil Sellers. We had tournaments at uh, BRC, which is the Brownsville Recreation Center. We
Hmm.
had the Howard houses where we used to play at. 263 junior high school, which is Marcus, and last but not least, we had the Hole. That was in Van Dyke projects where we used to have to walk down the steps. And I mean, these parks and every place in gyms was standing room only. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Definitely, definitely.
Mm.
You know, I enjoyed
Oh, yeah.
it. I enjoyed it.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So Brownsville is known for producing fighters mentally and physically. What do you think shaped your toughness coming out of there?
Oh, you had to be tough. You had to be tough, and then, I hung out with some bad guys, you know what I mean, that was into a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? But, they knew I played basketball. So, when they went and did their dirt, they didn't want me around. They was, hey, I see you later, you know what I mean? Because, it was easily to get bullied out there. You had to be tough, If you wasn't tough or ready to stand up for yourself, you might as well stay in the house, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was it.
So you would say the basketball kind of kept you away from all the foolishness too, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. You know what I mean? Because we had tournaments all over Brooklyn, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
then, we would play in Queens, we would play in the Bronx, Harlem, it's all over. All over we would play, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So trouble was easy to get into, but hard to get out.
I
Mhm.
understand.
Facts.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah.
for sure. For
So
sure,
so so would you say that you guys were like the Fab Five of your day, or
Uh, I wouldn't say the Fab Five.
okay,
But now, let me stand corrected. The
okay,
other guys that I mentioned to you
hmm
that was before me,
hmm
they was the Fab Five.
okay,
Mm.
They
Oh
was the
yeah.
Fab Five. Oh yeah. Because I mean, back then, Brooklyn, well, Brownsville, ruled in basketball. You know what I mean? With them names that I mentioned. Oh
Mm.
man, it
Mhm.
was it was it was tough. It was tough. Them guys there, they wasn't no joke, and all of them was NBA players, you know.
Mm.
mm,
So yeah, they was the Fab Five. You know what I mean?
okay.
We came behind them, and we might have wanted to be the Fab Five, but we couldn't touch them guys there. Yeah,
That's all right.
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Yes,
So
sir.
you had to have a 6-man energy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Next man off the bench.
There you go.
Off the bench. There you go.
Go off the bench. There you go.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, that's it. That's it. Oh man.
That's
Yeah,
what it
but it
is.
was, hey, the 70s and 80s, man. It was, like I said, it was rough, but we had the basketball to keep us busy, you know what I mean, to stay
Mhm.
away from all that foolishness, you know.
Understand.
Right.
Yeah. All
And
right.
when you look back now, like if you look at the players today and you look at fundamental basketball versus back then, with this tough, rough basketball, is the fundamental game, you think do you think it could have improved, or you think it didn't really make a difference in the play that you guys were kind of moving with back then?
Well, back then, that's all they teach was
Okay.
fundamentals. You know what I mean? That's all they teach was fundamentals. Now it seems like it's less fundamentals being teach to the young guys now. You
Mhm.
know?
That's true.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, but yeah, that's fundamentals was first before we
Right.
even touched the basketball or anything. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm talking about with the workouts, the sprints, and everything. It was fundamentals first before we even touched that ball. Yeah.
Mm.
Right.
Understand.
Oh yeah.
Everybody now
Hmm.
is here for the
So
highlights.
so you saying
Yeah,
you so
yeah.
what you're saying is like even with the fundamentals, the game's evolved a little bit as well to where the fundamentals of the game actually changed with the game as well, just a little bit, correct?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. These young kids now, man, they got a lot going on.
Yeah, they do.
They,
So you got
they,
you got to change with the game. So that
yeah,
means when
yeah.
the game is definitely evolving, you as a coach
Hmm.
or you being coached,
Hmm.
it kind of you got to evolve with it, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yes,
Hmm.
sir.
Yeah,
Mm.
definitely, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
fundamentals is, that's key. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah, yeah, that's key.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, we
All
were
right.
having a conversation about the fundamentals, and whether the I guess the evolution,
Hmm.
does it evolve past the fundamentals, or do I'm interested to see what growth do the fundamentals have that you guys see, like what changes have you guys seen?
The changes is I would say the kids now, you know, they're using their own fundamentals, you know what I mean? Because
Mm.
they're not as they don't listen as much as they should, you know what I mean? So,
Mm,
you know, the fundamentals is for them is just, what they want to do, you know?
mm-hmm. Trying to have
Yeah.
fun,
Yeah. Instead of, it's
learning
like they're not
together.
taking it serious the way they should.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Almost like the
Yeah.
LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody, you got a lot of guys now, they into that old school and one thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, back then we just kept it simple.
Mm-hmm.
And this, all right. So this question is gonna be: a lot of kids today don't understand sometimes that ball does wasn't just a hobby; it was a lifeline. What was it? Basketball? Was it an escape for you?
Yeah. Like I said earlier, we had tournaments all over. We had tournaments all over. So, we stayed away from that. That's what kept us out of the streets and stuff because I mean, we had games during the week,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
like 3 times a week and then the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. So we was constantly playing ball, you know,
Mm.
and that kept us away from all that stuff. Yeah. And I'm happy it did for me, you know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
like
Oh
I
yeah.
said, I knew some rough guys, but you know, good thing they didn't, they didn't want me around that stuff. So they knew I played ball. So, I got away with a lot.
All
Mm-hmm.
right. That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you started hitting the travel circus early. Tell us tell us how that came about. Who first believed in you enough to get you out there?
Well, in Ceflo projects where we lived at, we had a community center right downstairs. We had a
Mm.
community center right downstairs called the Ceflo Community Center, and we used to play ball in there. And I had some friends that was, on the team, and they used to practice there, and I used to go and watch them, and that's the Brownsville Jets. And so, I was watching them guys, and I used to hang out with these guys, and I was watching them, and it was like, yo, man, you should try for the team. I didn't think I could make it, but I said, all right, I'll try out. But I wound up making the team, and oh man, I thought I made the NBA when I made that. I thought I
Right.
made the NBA, and I went upstairs, ran upstairs, told my parents and everything. But it was three guys, that hey, talked me into it. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
that helped me, man. I tried out for the team, and I made it, man. And I stuck with it. Shout out to them guys.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
sometimes it takes other people to see stuff in us to help us, to be our best selves sometimes.
Yeah. Because I used to watch, like I said, I used to watch them all the time. But when the organized basketball came, when they started, practicing, and I never played organized basketball, so I was a little nervous and stuff. You know what I
Mm.
mean? But once I made the team, I got that confidence, and then and that was it. I
Oh
took
yeah.
off from there. Took off from there.
That's
Hmm.
right.
Go.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So back then there wasn't social media, no mixtapes. You had to show up and earn respect on the floor. What did travel ball teach you about discipline?
Oh man, you know, when I made that team, we
Mm.
used to travel. They had tournaments in Brooklyn, at the like Jewish community centers off Atlantic Avenue, Gates of Heaven, St. Malachy's, and they took us to Allentown, Pennsylvania. We used to play, and I had a coach Gene Bentley and Pearl Washington's brother. Beaver Washington was our coach, but they took us to Allentown, Pennsylvania, and we went there and we had to, make our mark. When we left, they knew who we was. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that travel ball was good. It was good for me because I had never been anywhere else playing ball but in the neighborhood. So it was good. It was good. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what are some of those teams that you play for out today still? I mean, I know one of the big names out there, of course, is like the Gachos and stuff like that. Have you ever played with
Yeah,
them
yeah,
dudes
yeah,
or
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I'm glad you mentioned that because Gauchos, Riverside Hawks, and all them
right?
teams there,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't want me. They didn't want me.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah, no,
wow.
they did that. They didn't want me. I was overlooked. I was overlooked
Mm,
a lot, and that's what Pearl Washington was talking about. Because he played with the Gauchos back in the days,
Right.
but I was overlooked. But see, it was somebody uh, that seen something in me, and his name was Gil Reynolds. I don't know if you remember
mm,
Gil Reynolds, but he's well known. Everybody that was somebody played for Gil Reynolds, and
Right.
his team, his team was the Vanguard Oilers, and so he seen something in me. And when I played against them guys, the Gauchos and all of them, they was like, "Dang, I think we might have messed up." You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, yeah, because back then, you know, me and Pearl, we had a tournament citywide was in Queens where he played and I played, and we both made the championship game at Madison Square Garden, and we had another fella that used to box, and
Okay.
we all was from Ceflo Projects, and he used to call him Knockout. So that particular day, he uh he knocked his opponent out. Pearl Washington, he got the MVP,
mm.
and right after him, I got the MVP.
Oh,
And so
that's
we
all
all
right.
so we all together from the
Mhm.
same projects. It was a good day for our project. So yeah, it was
Right.
good. It was
It was a
good.
big day. Set flow. There you
Yeah,
go.
it was a good day. Good day. Good day. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah. But like I said, those days there, that will live with you for the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that statement that he made to me before he passed, that stuff that'll stick with me forever. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Do you see a difference in I know you said there's a difference between the caliber of the players. Um like what do you think I guess helped this decline in I guess the caliber of play and you have any idea what that could be?
The caliber of play from the players
Yes,
you saying?
correct.
Uh uh it's all who you want to be, you know what I mean? And how you want to present yourself out there on the court, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. So,
I understand. All right. So you go from Brownsville to LIU, staying close to home, but stepping into
mhm.
the college arena. What was the transition like for you? I know it's a very big transition usually.
That was easy. That was easy because I was home.
Hmm.
I was home. My parents could come see me, and all my friends and stuff was there. So, that was good. That was good for me. The transition was definitely easy because, back then everybody wanted to go away. Everybody
Mm,
wanted to go away to school and stuff. And, I tried it. It didn't work for me. You know what I mean? But I wound up coming back home anyway. And, because initially I supposed to went to St. John's, but I turned it down. And
mm-hmm.
my father, he was man, he roasted me until the day he died because I didn't go there. But he said, "Oh, you should stay home. You should stay home." Oh no, all my friends is going away. They're going away, and I was like, I want to go away too. And then he said, "All right, you gonna wind up back here." He was right.
Mm.
Wind up back in New York. You know. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But LIU, they treated you well though, didn't they?
Yeah. It was good. It was good. LIU was okay. My first year, it was a little rocky, but I still, I did good. You know what I mean? But the final year that I played there, that's when I
Mhm.
really broke out of my shell, came out of my shell.
Right.
Mhm.
So to leading up to that point to getting looked at to go to LIU or making it to LIU, like what are some of the things that you had to face, as far as your game that you had to adjust to, and I mean, what were some of the things you had to endure to get to that point?
Well, everybody was good. You know what I mean? So I had to definitely work on my game. You know what I mean? I had to work on my game and just, stay focused,
Right.
and like you said, just stay out of trouble.
How often would you say that you was in the gym? Because some of these kids today, they think they that
Oh,
good, so they don't need to.
not yeah, yeah. Well, we practice every day. We had practice every day. The only time we didn't practice was the weekends.
Right.
So, and then, after practice, if you wanted to stay in the gym, you could stay in the gym and, still shoot around and, do what you do.
Right.
But yeah, yeah, practice was, hey, was key,
Right.
you
Mhm.
know. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
practice was key.
That's important.
Hmm.
Yes, it's underrated too. A lot of these kids think that, practice should just be running up and down the floor,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I try to help them understand, look, man, well, if we can get some of these fundamentals down, get some of the basics, that's going to help our game in the long run.
Right. But it's so, back then, you know, we listened, you know what I mean, to the ones that already made it and stuff like that. And now I'm not saying that all the kids don't listen, but you got those who think that, they're already there,
Mhm.
and it's not easy. Trust me, I know it's not easy. You know what I mean? It's not easy at all. So, this I know exactly what you're talking about when you
Mhm.
got to deal with parents and that think that their son is the next LeBron or Kobe or somebody and you know they got to see they got to get that wake up call after a while,
Mhm.
when they don't want to listen to people that's been there.
So let
Right.
me ask you this. So the support level, what kind of support did you have as far as from family, friends? And I mean, of course you had the neighborhood, but
Hmm.
like what kind of support did you have from the family and friends?
Oh, I had support from my parents,
Right?
and I had support from my big brother, Brown, my brother. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? He was the baller before me. You know what I mean? I
Right.
wanted to follow in his footsteps. So, he was playing before me. We used to
Right.
play ball in the house, all the time. And you know, we had that little thing called puff basketball where me and him used to play all the time.
Yeah.
We used to play that puff basketball, and man, we used to go out, and I used to get so angry because he used to beat me all the time. I would win a game here and there, but he would beat me all the time. And then one time we played, and he beat me. I was like, nah, we got to go again. We got to go again. He's like, nah, I gotta go. I said, Dad, where you going? I gotta go to my girlfriend's house,
Uh-oh.
which is my sister-in-law Aunt Jen.
Okay,
Cause my
okay.
sister-in law Jen. So shout out to her.
All
Cause
right.
he was, but she saved him. Cause I was gonna get him that next game.
Right.
But yeah, he would leave and he would go and see her, and hey, they still here today. Thank God.
Amen.
Definitely great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
him cupcake man saved from his greatest loss, huh?
Yeah. And then another support system I had was World Be Free because he was in the NBA at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I could go to him anytime and talk to him and about different things. And you know, he's still affiliated with the NBA today. You know what I
Correct.
mean? And we still talk on a regular basis. So,
Mhm.
that was the support system I had. But
Mhm.
I didn't need nobody else. I had my mother and father, I had my brother, and then I had him. So, that was all the support I needed.
That's right.
Right. The ones that you can trust. I feel you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And did you
Yeah.
Oh
always
yeah.
keep your circle small?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. My circle is very small even till today. You
Hmm.
know, yeah, yeah. Got to keep your circle small because hey man, it's people out there that they say they're your friends, but behind your back, man, they got the daggers going.
Hmm.
Mhm. Mhm.
They
Right,
got the
right.
daggers going for sure. Yeah. So
Oh
you got
yeah.
to keep it, and that's important. And see, that's important too. Keeping your circle small and stuff.
Mhm.
You have to do that, because hanging around a big crowd is nothing but trouble. Nothing but
Mhm.
Mhm.
trouble. You know what I mean? Because, it could be a group of guys that are all good guys, but it could be one person in there that could really mess things up for
Mhm.
everybody. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So yeah, so I've been, stop doing that, and like you said, just
Mhm.
keep that circle small.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So every athlete hits obstacles, injuries, setbacks, doubt. How did you handle adversity when things didn't go your way?
Oh man, when it didn't go my way, like I said, I went back to family and you know, I worked on my game. I had some nagging injuries and stuff, but I didn't want to use that as an excuse, you know what I'm saying? But I had
Mhm.
injuries and I would just work on my game constantly, to
Mhm.
try to get better. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a mantra I hear from a lot of players, no matter what
Hmm.
generation they're in. Seemed like everybody was a gym rat. Everybody put in the extra time in the gym, and,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
seems like
yeah.
today it's something totally different.
Nah, they don't want to put in the work. They want to get there first, but they don't want to put in you got to put in the work first, if you
You
want to
do.
make it.
So
Yeah.
I have a question here because you have a really strong message that I think that you can reach out to some of the kids out there because
Mhm.
back in 1984 you did get drafted,
Yeah,
right?
I got
You
yeah,
did
I
get
got
drafted.
drafted.
So
Hmm.
if you could just kind of elaborate on that question, on that just a little bit, just to tell your
Hmm.
story because I think it's impactful just for the simple fact that kids need to understand that things happen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got drafted. I didn't make the team, but I got drafted, and it wasn't easy. You know what I mean? Because I came out with a tough class.
Mm.
Jordan, Barkley, Stockton, and a host of others. I mean,
Mm.
you know, when I got drafted by the Atlanta Hawks, it was like I say about maybe 15, 20 of us. And they kept they kept like maybe 5, 6 guys. Everybody got cut. They only kept one guy that made the team. And that was Kevin Willis back then. But
Mhm.
that wasn't easy. Getting drafted is not easy at all. You know. So they need to know that. But see, like we said, some of these kids you can't tell them nothing today.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah. We had a very interesting conversation with uh with a vet coach Randy about vulnerability with a lot of folks and how it's missing and how that could be damaging a lot of folks' games. So it's
Hmm.
interesting that you say that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, it wasn't easy at all for me. When I got drafted, I was like, wow. I said, man, I got drafted with all these guys here, man. I said, shit.
Mm.
And look where them guys, look what happened to them. They became legends and stuff,
Right.
Hall of Famers and everything. So,
Right.
it's,
Top 50
you
list
know,
and everything.
yeah, yeah, and I had a chance to continue my career, but they wanted me to go to Israel and play overseas. But at the time,
Mhm.
they was fighting over there back in
Mm.
1984, and
Okay.
I said, I don't know if I want to go over there. I might not make it back home. You know what I mean? And here it is, 2025. They still fighting
Still
over
fighting.
there. So
So,
they still fighting. So I said, I
That's all
said,
right.
I think I made a good, I think I made a good choice. You know
yeah,
what I
you
mean?
made a mistake.
But
Yeah,
God had other plans for me and everything, and I still, I stay around the game.
Mhm.
right.
I
And
stay
you
around
blessed in
the game.
many other ways.
Yeah, I stay around the game, and got a great family and stuff. So things could have went different, but hey, I didn't lose my mind or anything like that. You know what I mean? I stayed strong and knew that God had other plans for me, and I'm
Mhm.
good with that. You know what I mean? I'm
Right.
good with it. You know what I
And the
mean?
crazy thing is, back then too, draft was different
Yeah,
too.
it was 12 rounds.
Right. It was
It was
12 rounds
12
back then.
rounds. Yeah, and I got drafted in the eighth round.
Right.
Drafted in the eighth round. So you picture that sitting there and you're excited, but I mean after a while you sitting there and you're like, wow, I don't think I'm even gonna get drafted. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then
Right.
and then when the eighth round came, they called my name, and I was like, wow, okay. And when I got home, my mother told me that they had called and set up plane tickets and everything. They was working fast,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
initially I was told that the Nets was gonna draft me, New Jersey Nets at the time,
Mhm.
but
Right.
that didn't happen. So but it was cool. It was
Hey,
cool.
hey, look, I look at it as still being a huge accomplishment because these kids need to understand that, like you have these dreams and aspirations. You got to work hard, and sometimes
Yeah,
it might not go the
yeah,
way that you might want at the end. But to
hmm
even get to that point,
yeah.
it's still an accomplishment.
Yeah. It was a big accomplishment for me, and I was, hey, I was proud. I was proud. My family was proud, even when I didn't make it. They was like, "Hey, don't worry about it." You know what I mean? You
Right.
blessed.
Mhm.
So that stood a long way with me.
Right.
hmm
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Long way. Still to the
Yeah,
day. You know, I'm thankful.
yeah,
You
that's certainly a
know,
blessing.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's get to another question. When you think about today's youth, what do you think they're missing mentally compared to your era? What do you think they're kind of missing now? You see the NBA.
Uh, they gotta pay attention. They just, I can't stress it enough. They gotta listen. You know what I mean? They have to listen to the coaches and they you got to work on your craft. You know what I mean? It's not nobody's not gonna give you anything. You
Mhm.
know, and back then we worked hard because we wanted to make it. We definitely wanted to make it. So these kids today they just gotta they really need to do better and just and look back at the history. You know what I mean? Look back at the
Mhm.
history and see, watch film. They got films out there that you can watch. So
And
look
that's
back at the history and stuff and see how they did it back then. You
right.
know,
That's
get
the
that old
thing.
soul, get that old soul in you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Mhm.
So
yeah,
everybody needs some 70s records to listen to. Tough.
yeah. Yeah,
Oh
something like
yeah.
that. Something like that. Yes, sir.
That could work.
hmm
Nah. Nah,
Yeah.
I just see like a lot of the kids today. I mean, I'm gonna just call a spade a spade. Like, I just think that you know, some of them just think that they should be out there because they're good. You know what I mean? And a lot of them are not playing for something. Do you feel as if
hmm
like you were playing for something back then too? Like, I mean, Cephalo. I mean, I'm from Brooklyn too, so I know a little something
Yeah.
about something, right?
Well, you
You wanted to
wanted
get out of
respect.
there.
You
You
want,
wanted
yeah.
to get
I definitely wanted to get out of there and stuff. You know what I mean? I wanted to get out of there because, my father, like I said, my father wanted me to stay home, but it was so rough after a while. You know what I'm saying? It got kind of crazy. He kind of sided with me on leaving and stuff, but he said, I want you, do what's best for you, but I would rather you be home. But I understand, what the streets is like out here, and you want to get away. You want to get away.
right.
Yeah.
So
hmm
yeah, I think that's what's missing a lot. A lot of kids they're just happy with whatever, not
Yeah.
not playing for anything. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
taking a lot
Nah,
of stuff for granted.
Yeah, but they
You
don't
know,
take it serious. They don't take it serious. They don't. They just want everything given to them, and it don't work like that. It don't work
Mm.
like that. And nobody's not gonna give you nothing in the game of basketball, especially when you're trying to make it to the big leagues. You got to put in that work.
Right.
you do.
Yeah, definitely got to put in that work. All
So
right. Mm.
so creating, so like this part of the conversation just makes me think. It's like, okay, so as parents, we watched our parents, struggle. We watched our parents go through things, and that adversity kind of helped cook us into the folks that
Hmm.
we are today.
Yeah, yeah.
But then as parents, we try not to give our kids the same struggle.
Yeah, you want your kids to do better than you did. You know what
Right.
I mean? You
So
want them to do better than you did. Yeah.
so I'm wondering if this giving that we're giving our kids, is maybe a little too much. You know
We're
what I mean? Maybe
spoiling them.
because if adversity is going to go ahead and squeeze you and kind of get you close to your diamond phase,
Hmm.
but then as parents, we're trying to keep our kids away from all that pressure. And then and then as a society, we wonder why our kids are so soft these days. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of pressure out there. It's a lot of pressure out there, and you don't want to put too much pressure on your kids because sometimes it could go left on you. You know what I
Right,
mean? And
right.
they'll wind up doing something they ain't supposed to be doing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so the kids that they might throw at you sometime. Oh, that was back then. That was back then, and this is the new day and all that type of stuff. But you know,
Nothing new
they'll
in
learn.
mm-hmm.
They'll learn in the long run that hey, mom and dad was right.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of things that my parents used to tell me, I used to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, wait till you get my age. Wait till this happen. Wait till that happen. You'll see. Wait till you
Mm-hmm.
have kids. You'll see what I'm talking about. And sure enough,
Sure enough, right?
when
Yeah.
I got older, I was like, man, I'm being haunted.
Right, right.
Because they told me this was gonna happen and stuff,
Yeah.
So I know they looking down at me like I told you so, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
There's
sure.
nothing new under the sun. Everything's just repeating.
that's
And
right. That's right.
and our inability to think things through
Hmm.
is what they were trying to help us understand. Like you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
thinking this all the way through.
You're right. You're exactly right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, growth. I love it.
All right.
You gotta have that growth. You gotta have that growth.
That's
You
right.
know.
Definitely got to grow. All right. So you've lived it. You've made it out. You made it. You made it up, and now you give back. How are you staying connected to the game and community today in Brownsville?
Well, well, I live in Raleigh now, so it's hard for me to stay connected in Brownsville. But here in North Carolina, I go to the little recreation centers they have, and I watch the kids play in the tournaments and stuff, and I lend a hand whenever they need me and stuff like that. And then I got a friend, his son coaches high school basketball here, Inlow High School here. So, I go to the games, and
Mhm.
watch them play. And, if he needs me, he calls me and, I'll go and I'll give him a helping hand. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, he's being a little modest here. I know him a little bit more than you guys here a little bit, so I'm gonna call him out.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Call me out.
But he does go back to Brownsville. Tell us about
Yeah,
those
yeah,
tournaments
yeah,
that
yeah,
they
yeah.
do.
Oh,
The
yeah, yeah. No, no, I still, even though I live in
yeah.
Raleigh, and Brownsville is gonna always be home. You know what I mean? I
Oh
go,
yeah.
I go, I go home to the Brownsville Old Timers Day.
Old
They
Timers
have
Day. There
that.
you go.
They have the Old Timers Day at the Brownsville Recreation Center. So I go home. Actually this year I went, and it was good. They remodeling the gym there and
Mhm.
stuff. So they getting ready to have the tournaments. I think next year they'll have the tournaments back again because they was remodeling, so they didn't have the tournaments. But I go home and to see all the guys, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, Brownsville always gonna be home. I
Oh yeah.
represent Brownsville down here, and the guys be like, "Man, you sure wear a lot of that Brownsville stuff?" I said, "Yeah, that's where I'm from." You know what I mean?
That's right.
I gotta represent. I gotta
Oh
represent.
yeah. So so
Mm.
so for those who don't know, but like every year, a lot of the old timers, which he named early in the show, they go back to Brownsville to the BRC and stuff like that, and have this big old tournament to where they
Yeah,
play for the community. You know what
that's
I mean?
right.
And
That's right.
I'm gonna say this: there was a year that I went back and you played in it, and
Hmm.
I'll never forget. I forget what team it was, but you was playing against them, and they had a 7-footer. Dude, you skied over that dude to get a rebound, man. Like I was wondering when
Hmm.
my kids got to just the ups from the bounce. It definitely
Oh
wasn't you.
yeah, yeah. That runs in the family. That runs in the family. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They had some good games there. They had some good
Oh yeah.
games there.
And it's great for the
Yeah,
community. It was great for the
yeah,
community.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely. So
Oh yeah. Just
like I
letting the
said,
kids know.
I can't wait. I can't wait till they remodel the gym and stuff, and
Mm.
hopefully in the future, I can get some my nephews up there to play, get that experience with them guys up there.
Right. Oh yeah, I'm sure that's gonna happen soon. But
Yeah.
so it's just one of those things where, that just like you was a part of it. Like I said, you're a part of that because you are one
Hmm.
of the Brownsville legends. And, you know, the kids actually seeing you guys come back and actually some of you guys still get out there to play, and having fun. That just
Hmm.
this just shows to the community that like, listen, just because we moved on, this and that doesn't mean that we forget about those who are still trying to get up and out of there and playing, especially through the
That's
game of
right.
basketball.
That's right.
So
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
That's
why I
pretty
always
cool.
go that's why I always go home when I can, you know what I mean? To represent,
Mm.
Right,
and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun too. You see a lot of people that you grew up with from childhood, pretty much.
right.
And yeah, so it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely good to represent. All right. For those young players growing up in places like Brownsville, where the streets are loud and opportunities feel small, what type of advice do you have for them?
Oh man. Stay focused. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Stay focused, work on your game, you know what I mean? Keep God first and listen to your parents and watch your circle. Watch your circle,
Mm.
but listen to your parents, and
Mhm.
you'll go far in life. You follow those things there.
Mm.
Now
All
what
right.
about those coaches though? Like nowadays, I'm gonna just keep it 100. There's a lot of coaches out there that see a kid that's really good out there now and they want to
Hmm.
try to take them under the wing, but they in it for the wrong reasons. How would you try to navigate? Like, say if you had a kid that's out there playing now, how would you navigate something like that, or how would you guide a parent? To what would you look out for? Because I have my friend Keem here. He has some
Hmm.
young players that's going to be probably getting into some type of sports later on in life, right?
Hmm.
What can you tell him the things to kind of look out for in this world where things are evolving where some coaches are out there for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, well, what you got to do, you got to be true to yourself. You got to be true to yourself, and don't try to please somebody else. You know what I mean? If a kid is good, okay, yeah, that's fine, but don't try to use the kid to benefit you. You know what I mean? And you say you love this kid and you're trying to help him out, but you're in it you know for yourself to advance. You know what I mean? More than the kid. So it's a lot of backstabbing out there with coaches and everybody out there these days. So you gotta make sure that you just teach the kid what you want to teach him and go about it the right way.
Go about the right way.
Mm.
Yes,
Mm.
sir. I agree.
If you got another highway.
Hmm. Yeah.
All right. So we definitely have. So we usually ask this question to every guest we have. So here at Off the Bench, We always say, master the fundamentals. Don't dominate the game. What does that phrase mean to you on and off the court?
Oh man, dominate the game.
Yeah, dominate the game.
Yeah, hey, to dominate the game is exactly what you said. You go out there and you show them who you are. show them who you are and what you could do, and give it all you got. Give it all you got.
Oh yeah. Great,
Definitely.
All right, I wanna do a quick trivia questions with you.
Uh-oh.
Just for your opinion of who you're gonna pick.
Oh man.
You know I gotta go there.
I
He's
already
old school. You
go
know I
ahead.
gotta
He
go.
old school. That's right.
So I'm gonna start
Okay,
with Scottie
okay.
Pippen or Charles Barkley.
Oh, Charles Barkley.
Mm.
Okay, you
Barkley
go.
over Pippen.
Yeah. Barkley over Pippen. I
I
take
like that.
I take Barkley over Pippen.
I got
When
you.
Barkley was young, he was a beast. He was a
Yeah, he
beast.
was. He
Yeah,
was.
yeah. He was a beast.
All right, the second one is Magic or Isaiah Thomas.
Magic.
Yeah.
Magic. That's magic. Yeah, all day.
Yeah, I agree.
And for the
Yeah.
last one, LeBron or MJ.
I knew you said that. Come on, man.
No, it's coming.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
No, it's coming.
Okay. MJ. MJ.
And give your reason. Please tell this young guy the reasoning behind it. Like I love LeBron, but come on.
Yeah. LeBron's good, but MJ, he was an all-around player. He was an all-around player, and he got 6 rings to prove it. Yeah, he might not have the points that LeBron got, but he got 6 rings, and he's just he was that guy, man. He was
He
that
was
guy
that
back
guy.
then.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it right here. It's recorded here. You know what I mean? Like I
Okay.
love LeBron. I think LeBron is great, right? But they keep comparing him to Jordan. Why? When his game is more like Magic. That's first off. Because Magic was what? A facilitator, right? Scored when he needed
hmm
to. Okay, that's
Well,
LeBron. LeBron does not
well,
want to take that last shot.
well. If you want my opinion, if you want
Oh
old
yeah, if
school opinion,
you
right?
want it all, we're putting you on the
Okay.
spot.
Okay, you put me on the spot. I'd rather have Kobe before I have LeBron on my team.
Boom! 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 I'm just saying, I love LeBron. But there's some guys out there that y'all overlooking.
Yeah,
Really?
nobody talks about Kobe, man. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Nobody talks about Kobe.
you
Cold
got
blooded.
you got to be kidding me, man. You know what I mean? That's all right, Kobe. All right,
But
you
when
got
them
Mike.
two, when
You
they
got
paired against each other, LeBron won way more games than Kobe.
No, he had more help.
Jay, we love you, dog, but youngster got a
he,
lot to
he,
learn, brother. He
he,
has a
he,
lot to
he,
learn.
he,
Against each other, he won.
he went to 100 teams to win.
Nah. Nah.
Kobe stayed with one team, and that
Yes.
was it.
That's true. That's true.
Yes.
But that's just my opinion. Like I
That's
said,
it.
I
Right,
ain't
of course.
not taking nothing away from LeBron. I love LeBron's
Nah,
game too,
LeBron's
but
great, man.
yeah, but
Great, but they compared him to the wrong guy, though. I think he needs to be
yeah,
compared to Magic.
yeah, and then you had, you got different eras. You know what I mean? In his era, he was that guy. You know what I mean? And now LeBron, this is his era, and he's doing his thing. But back then, Michael Jordan was everything. I mean, we would leave the park, leave our basketballs to go see Jordan play.
Watch him play. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and somebody brought this to my attention one time. You know what I mean? You don't hear about kids getting robbed for their LeBrons, do you? Sneakers. They robbing you. They robbing you for Jordan sneakers.
Better shoes too.
That's a good one.
Oh man.
Excuse me. You guys are bringing some stuff out of me, man. Come on, man. It's fun though. It's all good. It's all good.
Yes,
It's
sir.
fun.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to talk with a legend.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
definitely
right.
great to talk
Brooklyn
to.
legend, baby. That's what it's
Yeah.
about.
That's what's up. Yeah. I appreciate you guys, man. Can't wait to get to Florida and hang out with you guys too.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely
I'm
have you on here live with us.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm
We got
coming.
you.
I'm coming.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will be down. I will be down. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
that's what's
sir.
up.
Yeah. But once again, thanks for having me though, man. Thanks for
Yes,
having
sir.
me. Yeah, I
Definitely was
appreciate
happy to
that.
have you on here.
I was really shocked when I got that call.
Nah, don't be shocked, brother. We want ballers to be ballers out here. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Exactly.
the kids need to understand where, like like on the last show we was talking about, with one coach that we had on here, that it had to come from somewhere, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you've done a lot. I witnessed a few of the games and I've seen a lot and I know a lot about you. So it's like,
Mm.
I'm trying to get these kids to understand that it takes hard work, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
if you really want it, you gotta lay everything on the line,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
do.
and
Yeah, you do.
just because that, people are saying that you're good, there's someone that actually is out there that's going to be better than you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
that coach that you might want to play for might not feel the same way as you think that as good as you are,
Yeah,
which is also a reality check.
because when I got drafted, everybody was good, man. I
Yeah.
mean, everybody. And I'm
Oh
talking
yeah.
about not only myself when I got cut and the other guys that got cut, they came from major colleges all around the world and
Right.
Mm.
stuff. And we all got cut together. You know what I mean?
Right.
And because everybody was good at that time. And then, you had, like I said, 1984. Come on, man. I couldn't believe I got drafted in 1984 with Jordan and them guys, man.
Yeah, that was a
You know, and
stack
this is
draft.
just off script a little bit, but like, what do you think about the how much do you think the social media had to do with today's draft and how kids are being ranked? I mean, because I'm gonna be real with you. Like, I love this game. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, sometimes more than I love anything else out there, right? So I'm watching the fundamentals, like my partner here keeps talking about, and I'm seeing these kids that are like number one ranked, and they horrible at the fundamentals. But
Mm-hmm.
yet, with the NIL and the PR that these kids are getting, I
Mm.
really feel as if it's really messing the game up a little bit, and it's getting
But
these kids'
see,
heads,
but see,
you know. And
like
then
I was. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And then when they get to the league, they're in the league for a year or two because they really can't hack it. Because that
But
one kid who goes in there that has the basic fundamentals is outplaying them and having a good career. Now
right,
that's just
because
my
see,
opinion of what I see.
well, you got these coaches now, like we was talking about. They're in it for themselves. They don't teach that to the
Right.
kids, so they could be
But that
prepared.
PR is serious though.
Yeah, so they could be prepared. You know what I mean? They don't teach that. You know, so
Yeah,
it's
but that
it's 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 different. It's different.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
that PR
Definitely
is
different.
serious. Because I mean, if I put it like this, I wish I had the PR some of these kids had because I think I would be in the league. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
real talk. Like I'll be Michael Jordan out there and can't even get off the ground. You know what I mean? The way
yeah,
these
yeah.
people are souping these kids up. And
Right.
that's the thing that I be telling you, like when you going with your kids coming up, be careful. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because like they're gonna sell you the world. Like your kid might be great, but be humble. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna be, yeah, they might be that guy. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
but if you stay humble and stay within you and what your kid is doing, trust me, it will get there. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I think a
Hmm.
lot of these kids, they're getting all of this, and then when the lights come on, you know what I mean? They can't play defense.
They ain't ready for it.
Nah, they're
They're
not
not
ready
ready
for
Mm.
the
for it.
big lights. But that's
The
okay.
one.
I tell mine just to be patient. Your time coming.
Yeah,
Don't worry
that's what I
about
Yeah.
was getting ready to
That
say.
was.
Just be patient. You know what I mean? Because eventually, what I mean, they're gonna get their turn.
it. Yep.
They're
Mm.
gonna get their turn. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah.
We
So
all know who's in control. You know what I mean?
exactly. God,
Yeah.
baby.
That's
Yep.
right. That man
God.
upstairs, that man upstairs is in control, and he see what's going on.
Yes,
You
sir.
know?
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. for sure.
Yep, stay within.
I'm gonna let you
Yeah.
slide that one. 'Cause I was about to say I'm raising LeBron's. Not
Oh, you
Jordan.
be hey, no, but some serious.
No, I'm
Nah,
serious,
no. Raise your LeBrons, brother, because like, listen, LeBron is great. I'm gonna say that LeBron is great. You know what I mean? And there's gonna be another LeBron coming out, like Ron Brown right here. You're gonna be LeBron. No, I'm joking. But but
Who,
I'm just
who you
saying,
talk? Who
you
you talking about,
raised.
Bronny?
Ah.
You talking about Bronny?
Hey.
Yeah.
But nah, we good though. I think
Yeah,
your kids
yeah.
have to grow up following somebody because
Yeah.
that's who they inspire them. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Mm,
like LeBron is definitely that guy you wanna, if that's who you like, yeah, you make sure because he does have a lot of good qualities in him. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And that's the thing. I usually tell a lot of kids don't watch the NBA. I tell a lot of kids
mm,
don't watch the NBA, because NBA is all about entertainment now, right? And I'm
mm,
calling it. I hope I don't get in trouble for that, but
Uh-oh.
it's serious. It is because there's a lot of things that happen that if you do it in college ball, I love college ball now just for the simple fact is that one, the kids are hungry. You know what I
mhm.
mean? And a lot of them do have the fundamentals that it takes to get to the next level. You
Right.
see,
Mm.
there's a lot of them, right? So, yeah, if you want your kid to be somebody, find that college coach as well as kid that you want to follow and tell
Mm.
them take out all the good qualities they have so they can start emulating that and then go back at home. Because I remember like watching my kids grow up and playing ball. I mean, they had, I mean, I had a LeBron, one who loved LeBron, and I had one who loved Dwayne Wade and stuff like that. And they be
Mhm.
out in the yard dribbling the ball, doing the moves that they seen them do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that helped, because
Mm.
then I didn't mind pulling up on YouTube, say, hey, look at this, because they were doing things the right way. You see, there's some dudes out there
Mhm.
that I would say, nah, you're not watching him play because that's not real. I
Mhm.
mean, he's just a freak athlete. Some kids, some guys, you know what I mean? No calling names, but there's some players out there that just freak athletes and just get away with it because they are just that athletic. They just that good, and the
Mhm.
Mm.
fundamentals is
Mhm.
not even in the works. But a LeBron,
Gotcha.
a little Jordan, all the guys that we call the greats, they have great fundamental basketball. You
Mhm.
see,
Yeah.
Mhm.
now there is some evolving, like Steph Curry is unreal. You know what I mean? The step backs and all that. Like
Yeah.
I won't teach that to my kid because I'm a mid range dude anyway. But
Mhm.
his footwork to get into his shot is awesome.
That's awesome.
So guys
Mm.
like that is who you want your kids to emulate. You see,
Mm.
so if you want little man to go follow LeBron, knock yourself out.
I was only joking.
Right.
Nah,
And
that,
and listen, listen though. While these kids are doing all this emulating, we also need to help them understand, you know, stay inside yourself.
That's
yes,
true.
Because
Yeah.
you start
Mhm.
embodying your favorite player, and
Yeah.
before you know it, you start getting this this your head becomes the size of
Yeah.
a beach
right.
volleyball because
Yeah.
Mhm.
you're embodying their confidence, but
But
Mhm.
that's
you
where that
also
stay
have to
humble
just
comes in, that coach.
Yeah.
right.
That's where
But a
Yeah.
that
lot
stay
of
humble.
these kids just like they put on that cloak of confidence,
Mhm.
that their players exude, and they take that out there too. But what they have to understand is they have to put in those hours on the court to get that confidence. You have to be able to put in those hours, so that your line can be a line that you're proud of. You know,
Mhm.
Mm.
just just the mindset of making sure that you don't get out of your head too much, because you're so in love with this player that you think you that player, and he got the nice jumper, and yours is a little broken.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right,
So, so you
right.
just have to learn how to be honest with ourselves, and just keep it real with ourselves. Just
Yeah.
Right.
don't get the big head too quick.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
that,
I
but that,
mean,
but that's when we was talking about last segment where you got to find that balance, right? That comes with everybody. Everybody has to
yeah.
find that balance. So like, I want to be Steph. You know what I mean? I want to shoot, right?
Mhm.
Steph got that quick release. I know I don't have a quick release like him. So yeah, like you said, we have to be
Really?
real with ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's
Mm-hmm.
that balance, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
hopefully when you out there with little man showing him that, you gotta let him know, like, okay, son, nah,
Yeah.
you can't do what LeBron does.
Everybody can't be Steph Curry, you
Right.
know. Even though they think they're Steph Curry, you know what I mean? But they have to get off of that, and find your own way,
Yep.
Right.
find your own way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Work on your game and find something new that you could do to help your game, where
Right.
you ain't got to be Steph Curry, you
Yeah.
know.
Mm.
And one of
Be
the
be
easiest,
you. Be
yeah,
you.
Yeah.
one of the easiest
That's right.
things I think any player can do to I guess help themselves is evaluate yourself and look for your weaknesses.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you
Yeah.
know that your left hand is suspect, guess what? That's what you need to be working on in
Mhm.
practice.
That's it. That's it.
But you have to man up and be like, you know what? My left hand is trash.
Hmm.
And in
Yeah.
order for me to get it better, I gotta man up and I gotta put these hours in this gym in order
That's
to
it.
cut the
Hmm.
mustard.
Right.
Mm,
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But a lot of kids these days don't want to do that.
that's
That's the
true.
sad part about it.
I'm
Yeah.
wondering if they have a roadmap, because a lot of us, I don't know if a lot of young kids really have a clear path. Because sure, our parents love us, but sometimes all parents just don't give us everything we need. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
some things we do have to go out and find on our own.
Hmm.
Get our own answers to some of these questions.
Right.
And
Right.
But
so
I'm gonna just say this, like, you know, yes, I agree with that, but then I also say that some parents just don't know. You
mhm,
understand?
Hmm.
So, that's one of the reasons why, like when somebody comes up to me, I put it out there and I give them the information. You know what I mean? Because a lot of parents want the best for their kids, but just don't know how to about going about getting it. You
mhm,
see,
Hmm.
there's a lot of
Hmm.
programs that's out there that I don't think that is actually feeding to the parents for the good of the kid.
mhm,
You see,
Hmm.
like, like Robert Brown said here, like, you know, you know, some of these coaches are out there for themselves. So why am I gonna tell you what you need to do when I
Hmm.
want all of the fruit for me while you paying me the $300 to be a part of my team and we win championships and I get, all of these accolades, you know what I mean? But I'm not really giving you anything, you
Right.
mhm,
see?
Right.
So parents gotta understand to look out for that, you see?
mhm,
Hmm.
Because there are a lot of guys like us like we out there. We
Hmm.
giving them the information, right? But parents got to come to guys like us and ask the questions, and then there got to be more guys like us to give that answer to them straight.
right.
Right.
You see,
Right.
and that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I believe I believe they also may have to have the foresight to listen to a coach's practice, watch them interact, and evaluate whether that's a good fit for your kid or not.
That's
Right?
true.
Facts.
You
Facts.
know, yeah, he might be one of those coaches. He might have to yell and scream a little bit at one kid in order to get everybody else moving. And is that the type of environment you want your kid learning in?
Well, let,
Mm.
let me ask you this, Rob. Did you have a coach where you were like I can't play for this dude. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, let me tell you something. I mentioned it earlier. Gil Reynolds. I mean, everybody in New York City played for this guy. I mean, you name him. They played with him, and back in the days, oh, he was beating his players up, man. Guys used to go get their father on him and everything, man.
oh
But
wow.
he was, yeah, Gilbert, yeah, man. I tell you, you had Bernard King, you had World Be Free, you had Greg Jocko Jackson, Phil Sellers, Fly, Albert King, Benny Johnson, you name it. It's not a player in New York City that didn't play for Gil Reynolds. And Gil Reynolds is the one that helped me with my game and
Mm.
gave me the confidence to be the player that I became. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I tell you, he was the coach in me when I got the MVP at Madison Square Garden.
Right.
He was the coach. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Got you.
But you know what? You do your research on Gil Reynolds,
Okay.
Brooklyn
That's good.
coach Gil Reynolds. Do the research and you'll see. And you can ask any ball player that made it. Ask him who Gil Reynolds is. Kenny Smith even talked about him on Inside the NBA one day. Kenny Smith played for him as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Kenny the Jet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So looking back and evaluate him, would you say that well what things stood out to you as in his coaching style that worked for you?
Well, see, he was militant. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Yeah, and these young kids today, they couldn't even deal with him.
Mm-hmm.
They would quit. They would quit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because he was that strict.
Right.
He was that strict, and he was no nonsense, but he was an excellent coach, man. And I mean, he brought out my game and me. He brought things out of me that I didn't even know I had.
Gotcha.
And I just got better and better. You know what I mean? And he was great. He was great. I'm telling you, you got to do your research on Gil Reynolds.
Definitely, all the viewers got to do some research. I'm definitely gonna look him up also. That sounds great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look him up, man. Look him up. Look him up. He was the man. He was the man. Yeah, like I said, these kids today, they wouldn't last a week with him.
All
Yeah.
right, yeah, definitely. I was definitely happy to have you on the podcast today. It was great. It was definitely a
Oh,
great podcast.
thank you guys for having me, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I
Yes, sir.
appreciate it.
It was definitely a pleasure.
Yes,
Oh
sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And
Definitely we'll go back and do our research and
yeah,
some of
yeah.
these good these older players, some of these older coaches,
Mm-hmm.
pick up some good inspiration, some tips from them on how to add to our own lives. So yeah, I appreciate
Yeah,
those
yeah.
little
And
gems you
and
drop for us.
yeah, nice talking to you guys too, man.
Yes, sir.
Nice
Thank
talking
you
to you
for the
guys. And
honor again.
nephew, I'm proud of you. Y'all doing a great job, man. Great
Yeah,
job.
definitely. Trying
Great
to get
job.
Yes,
it
I hope.
going.
sir.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
that's
Go ahead.
then that's it for this week's Off the Bench with Rosy Sports. Remember, stay focused, stay humble, and keep working on the fundamentals. Definitely happy to have everybody here. All right.
All
All
right.
right.
All
All
right.
right.
Peace.
All right. God bless everybody.